Hello, hello, hello. It looks like everything is working. I just double checked everything. Hopefully everything is online. Oh, yesterday was horrible. We had an outage and I couldn't do anything. Not much. Yay, we have sound. Should be seeing the chat around the mat splash screen. Hi, Pat. Hi, Sue. Going to give it about a minute here and we'll play the intro and get started. A couple of things we're going to be covering today. And some tips and tricks that those who aren't interested in rolled flowers but giant flowers may not want to miss this. I didn't put it on there because I'm just giving everybody that watches the live tonight and the after recording a chance to get a jump on everything. Hey, Kanisha. Fernando, hi. All right, it looks like people are starting to come in, that the live has gone out. Let's just make sure that it got announced. And we will begin. Okay, I think that's it. All right, let's go ahead and play the intro and get started. Hey, Gerald. So, hopefully this is the last week of fighting the camera issue in this room and the lighting. Everything looks like it's working out. They did reschedule my furniture delivery for the 14th, but I think we can make it through that. I got everything except one piece. So, hi, Daria. Today we are talking about rolled flowers. We are going to get into some design space, and I've got a project that we're going to show you how to design on design space that is different from flowers that somebody was asking, and we're going to cover all of that. If you were in the group earlier, you probably saw a picture similar to what you see here on my screen, because I did finally get the cheat sheet or the guide for rolled flowers and their sizing up in the groups. It is in the group files in all the groups, so you should be able to find it. It's called the rolled flower sizing guide, something to that nature. I'll show it to you here in just a second. And here are some sizes, and we're going to cover those in just a minute. Let's go over to the other view here. Hey, Diane. These are the rolled flowers that I had on the screen just a second ago. And yes, they look very different on screen than they do on after they're put together. And we're going to cover those. I wanted to see if I can bring that up. Oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I'm going to save that and close it. I had where I was designing up on this. This is the rolled flower chart and sizing guide. There, it is a downloadable PDF so that you can click on the link right here and come to tonight's video. So it doesn't matter if it's a week or a year or what from now. You can open up your PDF, click on that link, and come back to this tutorial. So I wanted to make it convenient for you guys. These are the 12 that I found in Design Space. There may be more. And here are their numbers, so you can look them up by their hashtag numbers in Design Space. I did not link these guys. I wished I had, but I didn't think about it. If I get time, I will go back and link them so that you guys can click on them and open up your Design Space. That being said, you can have tonight's file if you want it, and that will open up all 12 of them on screen like you see back here. That design is 175772102. You just won't have any numbers on them. There might be the weld results where I had them in there. Yeah, you might find these in there, and they should line up if they're all there. Yes, they are. They're all there. So you'll know which ones are which. So I'll just go ahead and save that so you have it. So in that guide, let me minimize here, go back and grab it. There it is. In the sizing chart right here, you'll see this is page 1, and it shows you this is what I got when I cut it at 4 inches, and this is what I got when I cut it at 6 inches. Now keep in mind when you do these flowers, and we are going to do a couple because there are people out there who don't know how to roll the flowers, and we're going to show that. But guys, this is just an estimate because rolled flowers, any flowers, I'm not going to just say rolled flowers, any flowers, be it single petal, be it rolled, be it giant, it doesn't matter. Everybody's will come out looking slightly different because it's going to depend on how you roll them, how tight you keep them, or how much you let them expand. It's kind of like a handwriting. Everybody's is going to be different. So you will find slight variations even from one to the next of your own. And I have discovered that they're never going to be two perfect alike unless you're taking 45 minutes to do a flower and making sure that they're identical. So, I mean, difference in rolling, humidity, your paper. One day it may come out to 3/4 of an inch, and the next day it may be just slightly larger, depending on the humidity that the paper has taken on. Differences in paper are going to give you different sizes. So this is just a guide. It's not exact, but it will give you something to go by. On the second page, I did give you a photo of the 12 that are in there and what they look like. And these at the top on this right side are the ones cut at 4 inch. These on the bottom are the ones cut at 6 inches. So you have these, and it's all going to depend, like I said, on how you glue it. Everything's going to differ. So that being said, I'm going to close that out. This can be found in the group files and in the announcements. So here are the flowers and their corresponding numbers. And of course you can right click on these guys and or just click on them and then right click in your layers panel, and the information is right here. It tells you which flower it is and what cartridge it is on, because these are from 2 different cartridges. This one is from, I don't even remember. I know the majority are from Flower Shop, and that's what we're going to be working out of tonight. Let's see. Let me just grab this one. I know it's on that. We're going to click View Cartridge. And it's going to pull up the cartridge with all of these on. Now these are all from Flower Shop. And I know there's more images than that in Flower Shop. Those are just the free ones on Flower Shop. You guys see that? These are the free ones. Now this one I did buy. Let's see. Let me pull up the whole cartridge because I want to clue you guys in on something. And I don't know why it doesn't get put out there, but you see right here 50 images on Flower Shop. It doesn't even show you the rolled ones. There are so many ways that you can put these flowers together, guys. Hey, Ann. Hey, Slot Kitty. Yes, I have. I use them to put on top of boxes and I think you guys have seen that. I know I've posted them before. To decorate a small box for a small gift. You can put them on these purse bags that you do. Several things you can put rolled flowers on. You don't have to just shove them off into a shadow box. There are so many things that you can do. Tags. You can make so many things with them because they're versatile. You can size them to anything you want. But one of the things I want to point out here, guys, because I know a lot of you guys love the giant flowers. You love them. We all do. They're awesome, especially for backdrops for weddings and things like that. And I see so many of you guys going to Etsy and Pinterest and paying for these files. They're right here in front of you. If you have access, they're free. I know that several of you have probably purchased this one. And how do you make that a giant flower file? It's super simple, super easy. You're going to come in, and it depends on how many petals you want. Do you want 5, 6, 7, 8? And I'm just gonna get all that and group it and hide it, guys, because we don't need that right now. Oops, I missed some. Let's group those by themselves and hide those. So how do you make that a giant flower? When it comes in here at, let me go to full size, at less than 2 inches. First thing you're going to do is you're going to stretch this out. And the way that I do it is I do 11.5. Oops, that was on my width. I didn't mean width. I meant on height. Because 11.5, well, if you've got a 23-inch mat and 23-inch paper, you can do it. So I'm going to minimize to 75% so you can see the whole thing. This is the biggest I can cut my leaf to fit on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And I might be able to get, no, just one. One petal on a page. But if you're doing sizes like most of these are, you can get the couple of them on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Because these files you're buying have 5 petals. So let's duplicate it. Oops, hit the wrong button there. Let's duplicate it. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down 2 inches to 9.5. Now I'm going to duplicate that. And I am going to take it down to 7.5. See what's going on here? I am going to duplicate it. And I'm going to take that to 5.5. And then I usually do one in between, and I'm going to duplicate that one and make it 4.5. Oops, wrong way. 5.5, I meant 6.5. I don't know what I was. So I've got that little bit in the center arranged. Now you can do these 2 inches, 1.5 inches, whatever your personal preference is. So now I have a 5 petal file. Not a pedophile, but a petal file. How many of you have went and bought the exact same file off of Etsy to make a giant flower? And it's been sitting in Design Space waiting on you. You have to take a look at these cartridges and your access images before you go and you buy, because chances are, especially if you're buying off Etsy, it may have come from here. They may have copied it, and you already have it for free. So you can size these up a 1/2 inch, 1 inch apart, however you want, as long as you have 5 petals. If you're doing a giant flower, did you know that you can make it 6 petals, oops, or 5 petals? And all you're going to do is throw another size in there if you want 6. And you're just going to cut your center, whatever you want your center to be. I usually find that 5 or 6 inches, 7 inches is good. To cut this out of a double piece twice out of cardstock to thicken it up, or either a craft board to glue your petals on to support it. But then you're just going to start with your large petal, because you're going to cut these 5 times or 6 times depending on how many sides you're doing. And you're just going to start gluing these. Let me arrange and move that to the front. You're just going to, well, I can't get it there. Doesn't want to take. Move it backwards. Arrange, move it to the back. I got the wrong one then. I got too much stuff in my way. Arrange, send that to the back. Thank you. So if you're doing 6 petals, you're going to bring them in here. Now, if they're not wide enough for you, or you want a different shape, all you have to do is skew it and then make your duplicates. If you don't want them that long, you can create, I could probably get 4 different flower looks out of this one petal. One petal. So, but you can see the difference in those. This will give you 2 different looks. You can combine them. You can mix them up and combine. And you can make the giant flowers from this one cartridge where everything is in access or free. And you're just going to make enough to go around. If you're doing 5 petals on the base, then you just cut 5 of each one of your sets. So you would have 25 petals in all for a 5 petal. Yeah, I have found a lot of them that do not cut well, Jamie. A lot. And I have found a lot of them where they're selling stuff that you can Google and get for free, or look in Access and boom, there it is. And I'm talking exact copies. So you can go in here and you can skew this up and make whatever you want. And it's not just that one petal. Here's one here. Here's another one here. This one right here will make a daisy. So will this one. This one more sunflower. This one a daisy. And then you can roll them and curl them like you want and experiment. If you want, you can use something like this for your base to help you align your petals if you want. But there are several petals just in this one file. And I can skew these up, and I can get probably 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, about 27 different flowers out of those petals right there, guys. And never touch one of these rolled flowers. You can use these rolled flowers for centers on those large ones. And I'll show you that here in just a moment too. But tons of things. So when you're looking for giant flowers, guys, there is a file for giant flowers in Design Space. I'll show you that as well. But you can use this Flower Shop cartridge right here and get all of those flowers and those files that you guys are running over there and purchasing, because they're right here. They are right here. And it only takes a few minutes. You saw how quickly I made 5 petals for a 5 set. And then you're just going to duplicate that over on the matte screen and cut it 5 times. Is everybody with me so far? Because we all like to save money, right? So there's no need to run over there and spend money when you can make it in just a few seconds. So let's go back over where, we're not going there yet, to, I'm just going to get rid of all of this. Let me select all and delete. And now let's unhide our rolled flowers. So here are all our little rolled ones that I did. And again, this file is here. I'm going to just hit save while it's all out there. I believe Sue posted that file number up there for you guys. Yeah, 175-772-102. So you can open that. Yeah, there are some good ones in there, and you just have to be careful because there are a lot of people who are not making really good SVGs, and we've had people complaining, why is it chewing up their vinyl? Well, the reason is because it's pixelated where they copied it and created an SVG from a PNG, and it just doesn't have smooth edges. That's ones we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. We've had several people who are saying it's chewing up their vinyl. The reason it's chewing up their vinyl is because they have taken a screenshot of something and tried to turn that into an SVG, and it's full of nodes. Too many nodes. There you go, Louise. It is full of nodes. And in case you guys don't know what nodes are, let's just show you. Nodes tell your Cricut where it's cutting and where it's going next to cut. It guides your blade. Okay? Let me just go and open one up here. I'm going to slide. This is Shortcuts a lot. You can use Inkscape too. It's just going to be in a different place, guys. But this is the way that Shortcuts a lot opens up. And here's your image library. Let's just pick this star. And I'm going to close that. I can open it again later. I'm going to hold my shift key and stretch it so I don't skew it and it stays pretty and not all wonky. Right here, third one down, is your nodes tool. If I click on that, you see these points that pop up? Those are your nodes. Nodes tell it to go, hi Debbie, from point A to point B to point C, D. Do you see what I'm getting at? This is where it's telling your Cricut to go cut. Okay? So it knows where its starting point, stopping point, and each point in between are. Let me show you what happens when you screenshot or trace something. And I'm just going to search for a star here. Well, I say I am. There we go. And I have some stars right here. Let's just go with this one. Let's just say this one. Oh, that's a PNG. I'm not going to do a PNG. Oh, there's one. All right, this is a copyright image or an image somebody is selling from RF Clip Art. I am going to right click and download my image. It's going to go right here. And I'm going to go back over to Escal and I'm going to go to Trace. And I'm going to choose that image that I just downloaded. And I'm going to go to my downloads, and there it is right there. And I'm going to open it. And it's going to come in 4 or 5 colors. I can take it down to maybe 2 colors and say OK. And I'm going to hold my shift key, and here it is right here. I have to select. And I'm going to stretch it. And we're just going to ignore all of the little RFs in there. I'm just going to say OK. Because that star looked pretty good right here. Didn't it? Without the exception of the RFs on it, the watermarking. Still looks pretty sharp there. But when I trace it, look at that. You see pieces missing? Let's take a look at the nodes on it. If it'll let me. Eh. Oh, let me go up and go to path. You can't see this in union. I'm going to union that. So I'm just going to make that one. Look at that. Do you see the nodes on that one now? That's your problem when you get something somebody has copied off of Etsy. And that's where my Cricut's going to go cut. Even if you eliminate the RF watermarks on the inside, look how many nodes there are going straight line point A to point B versus this one. A lot of nodes. That's why some of them don't cut well. That's why a lot of them don't cut well. But you can see that. Right here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like one stacked on that one. 7, 8, 9. 9 nodes from point A to point B when it only needs 2 nodes, point A to point B. That's why you want to be careful when you're buying Etsy files. If you buy from design bundles and things like that, they will back it up. If there's a design on there that is not designed well, they will contact that designer or they will pull it down. They're not going to leave it up there if it doesn't cut good. So you're kind of protected there. But that's the issue with going and getting knockoffs. Does that make sense to everybody? Or did I lose you guys? I know some of you, this may be Greek, but if you've ever done your SVGs or you've done layers or shadow layers in Escal, this is not Greek to you. You've seen it before. Oh, yay, Louise. And Louise is pretty good at doing those escals and things. But that's why that's the best way I know to explain it to you guys is why you want to stay off some of those Etsy files. Yes, you can go in and let me just you can go in and delete some of those nodes. Let's see. It is under. Oh, you guys can't see it. It's on the top of my page where file, edit, object, and all of that. You would go to simplify. I couldn't think of the name of it. You'll go to path and simplify. Let's see if it'll show it to me right clicking. Path, simplify right here. And when you simplify it, it's going to pop up and it's going to ask you, here's your threshold up here, and I'm saying 100, and it's going to take this down from 326 nodes to 125, and I can say okay. Still got a ton of them in here, but a lot of that's from that watermarking. I don't want you guys to pay attention to that for this explanation. The ones on the inside, we're just looking at the ones on the outline of the star to cut that star. Okay, and then you can also simplify again, and it will take it from the 125 to 119, so it's going to take away some more. But when you do this, keep in mind that when you simplify is giving up detail. Okay, just so you know, you will lose detail when you simplify, and it's taking out some of these in the center is what it's doing. You can see those disappearing, and that's what it's doing. So if detail matters, if there's something in the center like an octagon and you're simplifying, it may kind of round out your octagon if you simplify too much. because I can keep doing this and taking them down and taking them down. And the more I do, the more detail I'm going to lose. But you can see where now this has gone from point A to point B. So it is cleaning it up and straightening it up. Yes, Louise is our Inkscape guru. I can help you out a little bit in Surecuts a lot. I'm still learning it, and I learn more every day, but Louise knows her way around both of the programs pretty well. Okay, so now we've covered that, and you know how to make your own giant flowers. No, I don't want to save that. You know how to make your own giant flowers. You know how you can clean up your images if you want to search and get them yourself and use Estel or Inkscape. So let's go and let's roll up a couple of these and show you guys how to do that. And then I am going to show you how to recreate this from what I have, this right here, from this. So let's go on over and roll up a couple of flowers and cover those. There we are. Make sure we change over. Yes, we did. Okay. So all of these small ones are the same as these large ones here, guys. Cut at 4" and cut at 6". And I'm just going to say, my personal opinion, 6" is about max for these rolled flowers because they get, some of them get extremely difficult to roll because the base is so thick. And some are difficult to roll, period, because there isn't enough on the base that they're connected to. So, and you can make them springy, you can make them bouncy, however you want. You can hot glue them and not get any play out of them. I kind of like the ones that have a little bit of play in mine. So, different ways of doing them. And what a lot of people don't realize is you have these on that Flower Shop cartridge. Guys, these things can create, when you have that split tab in there, just going to throw a little glue on there, they will create like a cone type. So if you wanted a flower that lifted up and gave some dimension, these can also be used for centers. Where's my center for this one? You can use these for centers of flowers as well as flowers on their own. This paper has a coating on it, guys, so it's one of those Craftsmith card stacks that I got for like $5. So they have a little bit of coating on them, so they like to pop apart. It takes a little more to glue these with regular glue. And ink, your gel inks don't like to dry on them very well. Hopefully that'll stay. But you can use those as petals for the outside. That one's kind of small for it. But just to give some added dimension. So your rolled flowers can become centers, especially these guys. These little straight edged guys right here. Or the rolled. Give you a totally different look. So you can get many, many different looks if you use the things that are also in that file. Here's another one that's hearts. And this one is made out of like little hearts. So cute together. Look at that. So make sure that you're looking in your files and using these. Because, like I said, these can be actual flowers or they can become centers. For your, they can be, your flower can become the center for these flower petals. Tons of looks you can get out of them. Here's another one that matches that other petal that we were working with and making 3D. Kind of makes that one look like a hens and chicks, doesn't it? From a rose to a hen and chick. So, succulents. Different things. And then you have those that have the holes in them. which will also create a different look. And you can curl these up, but if you want to make these like a tag for a gift, you can do those in two-tone. So that Flower Shop cartridge has a lot to offer. How about a lotus? Or lily. What am I trying to say? Lily. Like a lily pad. Tons of things that you can do. So I cut these two at 5 inches. Just so you could see what a 1 inch difference would do from the chart that I did. For those of you who have never rolled, this is the Cricut tool. You can use quilling tools or your Cricut tool. This is in the paper making kit. You get the distresser, you get your paper quilling, and you get your pad. But all you're going to do is just slip your paper into the slot on the end. And then you can roll it to you or away. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. I like to roll mine away from me. And I'm just going to hold my paper steady and keep rolling. And you don't have to keep this exactly even. It's easier to roll if you do. But you're just going to roll it. And what I was saying about I wouldn't go any larger than the 5 or 6 inches on these guys is because it gets really hard to roll with one of these. Now you could use a stick or a pen or something of that nature, and it would be easier to roll these deeper petals on one of those. It's just going to be a little more difficult to start than because you don't have that slot. Some people use drill motors and things like that, but to me, if you've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds to do, then that might be worth it. And I don't know if that's right, but the bottom tab I fold away from me and then pull it off and let it expand. Okay, simple as that. And you can use hot glue, wet glue, you can use your tape runner, whatever you want to use. And flip that piece over and just hold it until it dries. Now this is, I forgot to look at which one it was. This one was flower number 3 on the screen, which is right here, M295B547, I think. Yeah, that's it. So once it's dry and cut at 5 inches, guys, this one is, I'm not going to count the petal that lays over. To me, that's the tag petal. I'm going to say right at just over 1.25 inches. So this one is right at 1 inch. This one is 1.25 inches. And then the larger one is, oh, that's not the same one. Where are you? See, I've already lost myself in here. I don't know. That's not it. That's it. So those are the difference, 4, 5, and 6 inches. See if you guys can see that. 4, 5, and 6 inches. And to me, I like them all. It's just going to depend on the flower that you're doing. Yeah, so I used that, my tweezers for a long time. So that's the difference in that one. Let's do this one. And I wanted to show you guys this one because of the way that this one is made. This one is not on that flower cartridge, but if you want this flower, it is in Design Space Access. It's M, like Michael, C like cat, 8, B like boy, 7, E like echo, 1. If somebody wants to grab that. And the reason I wanted to show you guys this one is because to me this one makes a really cute flower because the petals are uneven. As you can see, they're short here and then they're tall here and then they get shorter down here and the widths are different. So it gives you a totally different look, but it's basically the same as that one that is more uniform. Again, I'm just going to slip that in and start to roll. You start from the outside and work your way in. And you can see when you're rolling that they're not all going to match up and line up, and that's just fine. Be careful when you get to the thinner parts. And you can see where it's dropping down a little bit. I just go with the paper. It doesn't have to stay even, like I said. I just go with where the paper wants to go. I'll fold that tab up so I can do that last little curl. Just let it go. Like a little spring. And you can just hold it until it sets. Super cute. This one is my favorite. I've done these as small as 1 inch. And they are gorgeous. This is the same flower. I don't know if you guys have seen that with the cascade of roses on the box lid. This is that rose. And there you go. This is it. 4, 5, and 6. Lots of difference in the definition of the two. One has the varied petals and one does not. One is more uniform. So that covers the rolled flowers. Does anybody have any questions on rolled flowers? Hey, Miss Sheila. All right, if you guys think of anything, you just let me know and we'll come back and we'll revisit these because I made so many of these, and since they're the same color, I am going to put them on something. I'm going to do something with them. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to use those. So let's go back over to Design Space and, oh shoot, I forgot who wanted to know about this, but they are supposed to be here. Somebody wanted to know how to do this, and they said they were going to be here for the live, so we're going to go over and do it. Let me close this one out. We don't really need it anymore. I want to close this one. Yeah, here we go. I want to make sure. Okay, so this is what I'm starting with, and the images I'm starting, if you want to play along, are hashtag M8A1D3E1 and M8A1CB47. Those are the two, and here's another way that you can see what's in your file. Clicking your title, clicking your drop down, and finding what images you used. Both of these are access images. Okay, so that's what we're going to use. Let me see if I can find my photo here. I know I brought it over. There it is. I want to bring that to the front here. I don't know if I'll be able to leave it on screen, but I'll keep bringing it over for you guys. To use. So we're going to start with those two pumpkins, and she wanted to know if it was possible to do this, and this is iron-on, in different shades of metal, and it looks like teal glitter, different rose golds, I think. So yes, we can do that. We may not be able to get it exact, but we can do it. Let me minimize that so I can get back to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this pumpkin and we're going to duplicate it a couple of times, 4 or 5 times, 6 times, something like that. And we're just going to slide this over to the side. I'm going to go to my contour tool, and I am going to hide all contours on the first one, and so I have this one piece because I can't ungroup these. If you notice, there's no ungroup, okay? So I have no other way to get rid of that other than slicing it, but with all these curves, it's going to take forever to do that. So I'm going to come in here. Let's shrink this down to a workable size. I'm just going to work here. I'm going to hide that one, and then I'm going to hide the rest because I don't want to hide the same one every time. So now I have this piece. I'm going to take another one. I'm going to hide those, keeping that third piece there. Easiest way to, oops, I want that one, to slice your image. And don't worry about lining up. We'll line it up again later. I'm going to duplicate that one more time because I want to hide one. I want to keep one that I haven't done all together for my spacing and sizing. So now I have everything, and actually I could probably left those two together. But that's okay. So here we have it. You couldn't get the last one fast enough. Which one was that? The Little Miss Pumpkin? It was, oops, didn't want to click it. M8A 1C B47. Just let me know if you need it again, Sue. So in their photo, the first section has slices out of it. So we can do those uniform, or we can do them mixed up. But all I'm going to do is go in and get a shape, and I'm going to get a square, and I'm going to make it one size, and I'm going to duplicate it, maybe turn it a little bit because theirs were not even. And I'm not going to do all of these and line it up. Now if you're doing yours, you can space them out and make them all different ways and go in different directions and different widths. I'm just going to show you basically how we're going to do that. And then we can't slice. If I try to slice that, you notice my slice doesn't light up. And the reason being is because I have over here in my layers panel 1, 2, 3, and then the piece itself down here 4 selected. So I have 4 layers selected. It's never going to let me slice that because I can only select 2 layers. So I'm going to select all 3 of my lines, and I am going to weld them. And then I'm going to decide where I want my slices, because I can, after I get a couple of them, duplicate it and come in here and just do different ways. Let's just even flip this one horizontal. Kind of space them out. And that looks good to me. And again, I've got that same issue. I can't slice all those layers because now each one of those 3 lines is a layers each. So I'm going to weld those. And now that has become one single layer when I select it. So now I have 2 layers, and I can select the 2 and I can slice. And then I can get rid of all of the trash and keep that piece. There, you got it, Sue. So now we're on our way, and I did it again. I don't know why I keep doing that instead of minimizing. So now I have my stripe. This one they left solid. That's how I'm doing it. Let's just do this to stop me from having to do that so much. How about that? So this one they left solid. They didn't do anything to it. So we're just going to leave those 2 like they are. And then this one, they cut a bunch of little different size. It looks like skewed drops and circles. So I can get a circle here that's free, and I can go to my images and search drop. Not 3, drop. And there's a couple there. We'll just use those. I'm going to insert that, and we're going to hide the draw lines. I'm just going to size it down. There we go. And duplicate that. And let's kind of skew it a little bit, make it a little bit different. I hate when I do that. And duplicate it again and kind of turn one. So we're just going to put maybe those 4 together and weld. And then I'm just going to duplicate it and flip it, maybe vertical and horizontal. You can do these up any way you want. Basically, just get the kind of look that you want in there. I don't like that. Maybe go this way with it and flip it horizontal. There we go. And duplicate it one more time. I'm going to go with that. Just take your time and get it like you want. I'm just going to move this guy out of the way and weld that. Because you can do any of these shapes that you want on here, guys. We're basically just doing a technique here. And then I'm going to slice it. Again, get rid of the trash. Now we have that piece. And the next one, it looks like they kind of left it solid, but they did some kind of texture. I think you guys saw the 3D texture that we did. It looks like they took the lines out from under this one. So if you want to do that, keep those and then press those on and press a solid piece over. That looks like what they did to get that effect, because the lines all look uniform to that piece. So you could do that with this one, and then I would say polka dot one. So let's see. Have we got something already done so we can just use it? Sure we do. There's some dots. There's some dots. Oh, those are printable though. We don't want printable dots. There we go. Here's some dots. I probably wouldn't pay for these, but just for this purpose, because you could set these up on your own. I'm going to rotate it, make it smaller. We want smaller dots. Just just kind of lining them up in here together. I might have to do a couple to the side to get this one. So I'm just going to select all my dots that I picked and weld. And then we're just going to slice that one. And then we're just going to line this back up. They didn't really do anything to their stem. So let's bring this guy back in. And I'm just going to make it purple, just so we have something that we can go by to line our pumpkin back up. Now, if everything is going to be cut from the same color, you can weld all of those back together. So I'm going to weld, weld, weld. And weld. And then this piece right here is cut from a different color. And then they've added some leaves, which I have a leaf right here, and then some curlicues. And again, I can't ungroup that, so I'm going to duplicate it a couple of times, and I'm going to contour. And then I'm going to hide all contours. Actually, I want this piece. Oops. Contour can get confusing. Give me that. I don't want that piece. It doesn't want to highlight for me. There we go. And get rid of that piece. So there's my curlicue right there that I can use. I can probably duplicate that and use it a couple of times. And then maybe a leaf. Contour. And let's hide all contours. What is it leaving me? It's not that piece. And I just contoured out everything except a piece of the leaf. And then I can size that. I want to duplicate this piece. Wherever I'm going to have that leaf popping out from, I'm going to select that piece and my leaf and slice it. And I know that looks weird to you guys because I didn't move everything. This is the one I just used. Get rid of that. And then this piece, I would probably contour out that tiny piece right there that's left. That piece would fit right there, and I am going to select that with my blue because they're the same color. Don't want that one. That one and that one. And weld so that they cut and line up like they're supposed to. Is everybody with me on that? I was a little bit off. Make sure yours are lined up. And then they have two curlicues. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to duplicate that and flip one. And you can put these on any way that you want and weld them in. Just gonna. And then add your words. That's it. was trying to size, not get rid of it. There we go. And weld that. Change it back to the teal color it's supposed to be, or green, teal, whatever you want to call it. And then you basically have, when I welded this, I didn't weld it right, but you see that you can duplicate that image just by manipulating an image already in Design Space. And you can get pretty doggone close to what they have. It may not be exact, but you can get really, really close and make it your own. And then you know that you have the only one that's like that. I will save this in case any of you guys want it. Of course, you can use this. I would also slice out my thanks like we did the leaf up here, because that's what they've done in this photo. They've done like a little knockout and sliced their thanks out there and give it a little bit of space. We didn't give ours any space, but you can do that in Escal, or you can just have it line right up on it in Design Space. Did that make sense? Did everybody understand how to do that and replicate the look? Again, you still have to do your words. They did two different fonts there. Let's do October Twilight. Yeah. Use your letter space. Bring all of those together when they touch for cursive. And I'm going to advanced ungroup to letters. And I'm going to slide that T over. And weld. Of course, I'm going to skew mine, I usually do. And then this would be sliced out of these two pieces here so that they lined up, and they curved their words to go around the sides of the pumpkin. And it says, above all on one side, let's give on the other side. So it says, above all, let's give thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of fun doing your own designs, Gerald. Plus, you get that unique look. Not everybody has it. Because if we all go and like an SVG, which is fine, because there are some looks where we all want that one design. Great, go out and grab that SVG. But you can do your own and make it your own as well. Yeah, well, Pat, usually if I'm doing something like this, like I have little cuts right here that I wouldn't really leave mine this way, but it doesn't look bad. But I would probably separate mine just a little bit more and do some actual teardrops, because there is a free teardrop in there. So you can do all sorts of little shapes out of these. But super simple, super easy to do. Got to learn to work with that contour tool. That is such a lifesaver. So does anybody have any other Design Space questions? Anything that you didn't ask in group or you want to ask now? And anytime you're doing these designs, guys, always look at it. Go to your contour and look at it. Right here, you see these little bitty teeny tiny pieces I have here? We all know that's not going to cut well. Get rid of them. Get rid of them before you cut. Anything that you know that you're not happy with. So when you're doing your own designs, you have to look at that. Super easy. All right, guys, I thank you for joining me. Please give a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Please, please, please. Next week, not sure what we're doing. We do have, in case some of you didn't see it, in the group announcements, I have started putting up a calendar to tell you what days and times we are going live so that you guys can just find it at a glance. And that way, if I'm running behind like I am now and I don't get the notice up that I'm going live until that day, you still know that I'm going live. So, unless there's an announcement in there saying that it's been moved or changed. So those are also in the group files now. You'll find a calendar and our live times and dates on there. Is that it? Everybody good to go with your rolled flowers and everything? And designing on your own? Alright guys, I will catch you on the next live, which will be Friday, close to my heart. Got something planned. Hopefully everything will go fine and we can do some things this week. My kits are supposed to be here tomorrow for that, and I will be posting some photos so you can see exactly what we're going to be doing. You have a great night, and I will catch you on Friday. Thank you, Ko-fi supporters. Thank you, Patreon supporters. Thank you, mods. I appreciate you guys.